Ah, hello, new friends. Misgendering friends. Oh, well, you should have seen the place. There was no line, but there was a dog missing, and the dog belonged to the chef, so you can probably understand it was a sad situation. Oh, buddy, this meal is so tasty that it's just called the tasty meal. I have no idea what it is even looking at it, but if it's not tasty, it's nothing. Alright, well, all you owe me is a magic seal. What? Oh, is that like a pricey as a tip, or what? I feel like that can't be more than 20%, right, magic seals? I mean, this is a weird way to respond with our request, but okay. Oh, well, there he go. Off the screen so slowly. Now Shantae is going to murder him. So, welcome to the Squid Baron's Labyrinth. I can't make that sound intimidating. Anyway, this here is our first dungeon, and it might remind you a little bit of Dribble Fountain. The entrance is kind of similar. It's got a bit of a similar vibe going, but it's actually fairly different. There's also another similarity that we'll get to in a bit. For now, though, we've got this enemy acting as a hint that we can go through this wall here, so be on the lookout for walls you can just walk through. I mean, there's not much of an indication for each wall. You kind of just have to guess based on context clues, but it can be easier or tough, I'll just say that. Anyway, difference number one between this and Dribble Fountain is these area with the flowers. Like, Dribble Fountain was a very constructed area. It looked like a place that was, just heavily built to be an aqueduct or that sort of thing, whereas there's a lot of natural going on with Squid Baron's Labyrinth that I think looks pretty cool. The flower platforms are neat. Oh, and I don't think I've mentioned it, but I do love the touch that they're actually like those little wispy skulls coming out from death pits so that you don't think, hey, can I explore this? No, you can't explore it. There are skulls there. That means it's a bad time. They've made it quite clear. Now we've also got blocks that we can destroy by just whipping them. Again, no real indication that they are whippable other than just sometimes progress is impeded and you just have to go, alright, I would like it to stop being impeded now. Now here is a thing that was in Dribble Fountain, is just statues that shoot fire, but, I mean, it's kind of distinctly Dribble Fountain, but this is also a kind of a common obstacle anyway, so I'll give it a pass. It's not just aping everything from Shantae 1. Look, these were in Labyrinth Zone too, so you know what, it's fine. Statues that spit fire are very common in labyrinths. It's just the labyrinth thing. There's an achievement for lighting this thing on fire for some reason. I don't know why. That is a thing you can light on fire, though, so... Hey! Considering how fast that thing was spitting, I didn't want to mess with it anyway. Get fired, idiot. I will say, it is sometimes kind of weird what this game does and doesn't take from the original Shantae. Like, we had a boat first boss, but that wound up being kind of different anyway. There are a few similarities here and there. The beginning areas are kind of similar. Both first dungeons are located in, like, specific forests. I don't think the forest in Shantae 1 got a name. I will say, though, weirdest thing that is in Shantae 1 but not this game is a proper intro stage. This game just had you fight enemies, and then you fought the first boss after some cutscenes. And I think that's weird because, like, Shantae 1 had a real cool intro stage. Like, that was a really fun action stage. It threw you straight into the action in a way that felt a little more natural than this game did. And again, it's just real cool. You have to protect a town that's on fire. That's rad. It's a good way to start. But yeah, this game, it's just fight some enemies. I don't know if that was just a time constraint or if they were, in this game, not interested in just repeating Shantae 1's first stage. I mean, why would you just have Scuttle Town be on fire again? That would be ridiculous. Anyway, though, in this door is one of the best things in this game, an inclusion I adore. That's right, mid-dungeon save points. Oh, you better believe this was a godsend. Oh, I cannot imagine how frustrating it would have been to record this without mid-dungeon saves, because let me tell you, from here on out, I made some mistakes fairly frequently. One thing you don't have to worry about too much, though, is these flippy platforms. You flip them over with your hair, and then you either jump off them or ride on them. And if you're wondering about the timing of these, because they will flip over eventually, there is no set time. As long as you stand on the platforms, they will not turn back over. So, as long as you commit to either waiting for your next jump or to a jump and don't just hop around non-stop, you're gonna be fine. I tried staying on one of those platforms for a while. Yeah, no, it never turns over. You don't have to worry about that thing just flipping over and damaging you. Oh, and of course I should mention as well, falling in the pit, because it will be extra relevant here now that we have, like, proper platforming challenges. It's not instant death, you won't get a game over, but you'll just lose health. Now, down here... I like this right here as sort of a reminder of the blocks you can destroy. You don't... Like, that's not going to teach you that you can do that, because there are points in the dungeon where you can definitely do that, and have to do that to proceed. But it's just a little reminder, because A, we had to destroy a block to get down here, and B, that's going to be relevant in a sec after some platforming. Again, as long as you commit, these are fine, and when you flip over moving platforms, they'll actually stop for you for a second, which is very nice. Oh, and I forgot we have a mini-boss with these two guys. Not even a mini-boss, really. They are just, slightly more powerful enemies. Which, you know, I've played Castlevania games. Sometimes there are just rooms with extra tough enemies that aren't necessarily mini-bosses. Anyway, here's the room I was thinking about. Thankfully, this isn't a room where you have to be precise in destroying blocks, because you have to destroy certain blocks. You have to chip away until you get a specific image. But unlike a lot of games where you have to destroy very specific blocks, like if this was a Bomberman game, if you hit the wrong thing, you would absolutely need to restart it. But no, it's just a matter of figuring out the images and doing that. Unfortunately, you summon enemies who are a pain in the ass to get to. Boy, I wish I had picked up the pike ball before this, because I hate dealing with the guys at the top, because it's so easy for me to just jump into their feet and get hurt. So if you're wondering why I was thankful for mid-dungeon saves, these fuckers are part of the reason. I don't like these scarecrows. They're so rude. Thankfully, though, they're gone now. And we can get another key. So I'm trying to remember what some of the more specific aspects of Dribble Fountain are compared to Squid Baron Labyrinth, because I think I actually kind of prefer this one. Again, I kind of prefer the aesthetic of this one. I love this kind of, you know, man-made structure that has been overgrown and has now been taken over by a big baby-faced squid. I think that's just a real cool-looking dungeon compared to just all man-made. Again, they share a lot of similarities, but this one being a little more run down, and clearly it's being squatted in, again, by a baby-faced squid. I just think that's pretty cool. Though, in both games, I really appreciate the first dungeon being kind of water-themed, without being water dungeons. Because, you know, you can go either way with a water dungeon, especially in this game where Shantae can actually swim. You know, you might be worried about a water dungeon, and if it came up first, you'd be like, are we gonna have to get used to water physics already? But no, it's just a very pretty looking area, and it's rather, I'd say unique as far as themes go. I don't really know what I would think of for a first dungeon. I guess I would just think of forests. I mean, that's what Zelda does a lot of the time, right? Just some kind of foresty dungeon. Admittedly, as much as people say Zelda games are kinda samey, those games can actually pull off, like, a beginning of the game dungeon, or like, a similar aesthetic dungeon that nonetheless feels different. Like, Great Deku Tree feels way different than, what was the first one in Minish Cap? That was Deepwood Shrine or something like that? Either way, Deepwood Shrine was, or whatever it was called, was cool as hell, but Great Deku Tree was a tree. You just got to explore the inside of a tree, and the progression of the dungeon was actually pretty cool. And it's the same kind of thing here, like, both games start out with pretty similar first dungeons, but tiny little differences like that can make a lot of difference. This platforming section is also kind of tricky, I will say. But as long as you're patient, again, commit one way or the other and you'll be fine. But yeah, it's not too bad. I think it looks more difficult than it actually is, and those are some statues up there. These ones are comparatively tame, but oh boy, there was a very horny architect back in the day, I guess. Look, there's a naked ghost Shantae-like lady, but that's not the horniest thing in the room. Anyway, like Dribble Fountain, first dance is Monkey Dance, we get that first. And yeah, right there. We do not have to remember specific patterns to do transformations in this game. You just hold the dance button down until you get the form you want. And then you just activate it. You just let the button go and you're good. So let's see that in action. Let's not be behind a tree when that goes on. So, we've got 3 different animations. That specific hip shake is the monkey dance. Personally, I would prefer just a radial menu with Shantae's transformations on them, but you know what? It's still better than the first game. I appreciate only having to hold a button. And the only thing you need to remember is really just the order you get the forms in. So, it's maybe not the friendliest, well, I say that, but you can go to the menu and check the, monkey form. And it'll just say, hey, just stop holding the button when Shantae does her first move. And there's your reminder. So, even if you put the game down, it's really not that bad. So yeah, it's just a matter of remembering the order you got the dances in, or going to the menu. Either way, it's not a big deal. I will say, though, a little bit of missed opportunity in the DSi version. Oh, real quick, though, monkey form cannot climb certain surfaces, so we can grab these blocks. And despite my flailing, I managed to not get hit here. But yeah, the weird studded blue walls we can't actually grab. So you'll want to remember that. And also, climbing has a particular animation for monkey form. I forgot to point it out earlier, but Shantae's normal form can also climb chains. And there's just a very elaborate animation for it, like it's very detailed. Monkey form is adorable, though, in its animation. Anyway, though, missed opportunity in the DSi version. Given the menu screen was the bottom screen, and the monkey form does appear on it, I feel like you should have been able to tap the screen to do transformations in the original version. And that would have actually been, like, a thing that would have been, like, better about the original over the director's cut. Like, there's no touchscreen here. This is the Steam version. and there's only one screen. But if I had two screens, I would want to be able to just press the monkey button to just instantly transform. I guess they didn't want to abandon the whole dance to get the forms thing entirely, but she can still dance if you tap a thing on the bottom screen. She can just do a move. Shantae's good for it. Just make that part of the animation. It's fine. Alright, so I feel kind of bad because my immediate thought was to bring up the N64 Zelda remakes, which I'm fairly certain I did that literally last episode as a point of comparison for, like, why bottom screen menu stuff is very helpful. But, like, I really like those. I think they're a good example, but also, it's dawning on me that maybe I should find a new one. Maybe I should think of any other 3DS games, or just DS games also, where the touchscreen is helpful as sort of a menu extension or something like that. But yeah, again, I guess to be fair, it means that the director's cut didn't take a huge hit when it came to, being a remake. It didn't remove functionality of just easily being able to access transformations. And in fact, it gained functionality because now the Warp Squid statues are better. But yeah, anyway, Monkey Dance. At the moment there's really not much it can do other than climb walls and be small, but to be fair, that is a pretty good moveset already. As I said at the beginning of the game, it's not like combat is super complex or anything. Normal Shantae can handle the fighting, but monkey form can do this. And get me some jam. Heck yeah. Well, won't say no to more jam. I certainly have enough money to get the hair upgrade. And I think we have all the magic jam we need now. I think I'm at that point. And if I'm not, well, I'll get magic jam soon enough. The monkey does open up a few doors. Not literally, it can't actually use doors. Shantae will just turn back if you try to scene transition. Regardless, though. And when you respawn, I guess to be fair, you could just jump over this guy with monkey, but like, these guys drop so much money when they die. I'm sorry, friend, but it's just so rewarding to kill you. Give me your blood gems, I want them. Alright, and we're back to the save point. Again, love this so much. Also worthy of note, in the first game, most of the save points were a statue of this old man, but now he actually comes to greet us, which is nice, so perhaps he got more powerful for being able to follow us into dungeons. Anyway, unfortunately, if Shantae hits the water with the monkey dance, or the monkey transformation, she'll automatically turn back. No, I did not expect the monkey form to be able to swim, and that being a secondary function, but I was really hoping for a waiting animation for the monkey, right? Like, that would have been super cute. All of the monkey transformation, animations are adorable. I wanted another one. Oh, I should also mention, hey, right now, did you notice the lighting in this dungeon? It's real cool, huh? That's really all I have to say about it. The lighting is real good, but God, I love the lighting effects here. They're neat. I love the way this game just plays with shadow like that. It's just pretty cool. Though that being said, has not been playing with depth. Now that I think about it. We haven't seen any of the jump panels, and we're not going to. So far, the jump panels have just been really just a overworld traversal gimmick rather than an amount of challenge in the dungeon. Though, to be fair, I can't really see it adding much, so no big deal that it isn't, but also, I would have initially thought that it would be a bigger gimmick. Anyway, could you land? Thank you. Oh, you are in a terrible position. I'm being a little too nervous about fighting this guy, but I really did not want to accidentally get myself kicked and ruin everything, so... better to play it safe when you could accidentally run into enemies. Oh, actually, speaking of running into enemies, remember how I said the game won't usually launch you into enemies with that jump panel? Yeah, so... I actually did a bit of supplemental recording to show attacking the dog. And on the way there, I did actually just launch myself into a Lamia, so... note, you can actually just jump pad yourself into an enemy. To be fair, I was rushing, but it can happen. It's not an impossibility, so I feel like I should throw that out, just so, you know, you're not disappointed if it does happen to you too. Anyway, Monkey is better at climbing in general than Shantae, so even on chains that Shantae can climb, it's kind of just better to use Monkey in that situation. Needed to use it for that half the climb anyway. Alright, so we've got one more save point, but we've been through a lot, we've got a new transformation, we got a whole lot of jelly. So I think you know that it's time for a boss. And once again, the horniest statues. I mean, it wasn't that hard. It was the first dungeon. Alright, so you'd rather murder the delivery woman than pay her. Okay, I see how it is. Alright, so, Squid Baron. Surprisingly difficult for a first boss. He'll try to send his babies after you. I never really pay attention to the order they get spawned in, so I prefer looking gaps in their spawn points and just being careful from there. As a note, there is an achievement... Oh, real quick, this attack. I have seen people dodge this attack without turning into a monkey, but it's way easier to do this. Basically, if you want to jump over that, you'll have to leap into the corner he starts eating from, and then just stick to that corner, because he'll wind up in the opposite corner at the end of the attack, but this is a very fast attack, making it real hard to dodge. If you're attempting to do a speed run, I can see why you would want to save time by not transforming into a monkey, but yeah, better to be safe than sorry, and it's easy enough to transform. Anyway, as I was saying, there is an achievement for beating this boss with only the cloud power, and in fact, he's actually pretty weak to it, especially since he sticks in the corner. Pretty good strategy is to just create a cloud, shove it in the corner, and just have it strike him for a bit, and it'll actually sap his HP down real quick. I find Squid Baron is a little bit HP spongy, which is a bit unfortunate, but I guess they don't want you brute forcing the first real boss. The boat was only a warm-up, this guy's the real deal, and you're a child. But yeah, you get an achievement if you only lightning him, and it's actually a pretty effective strategy to work him down anyway, so it's not a bad idea. It's just, I kind of preferred to get fire first, and it has been very helpful, so I am not going to bemoan my lack of cloud or my lack of achievements. But yeah, the biggest problem with this fight, I think, is just timing. Like, his normal charge is actually a little bit difficult to time correctly. It's one of those, you can see when he starts the animation, but you actually have to react to the thing starting almost immediately if you're close by to him. And the attack where he eats and then dashes was pretty annoying until I remembered, oh right, I got an ability here, I should use it. And then this battle became a cinch. And so, Squid Baron explodes. Letting us collect our first magic seal. seal so nice, Shantae just will not stop spinning in the air. And the game wants to alert you that you can indeed just press a button to stop that from happening, but I wanted to listen to the music. Anyway, just like in the first game, here's Risky, just coming in at the end of the dungeon. Although the first time, she actually accomplished her goal, and was the one to send the first boss at us. In this case, though, she got here too late, and now Shantae is absolutely going to threaten her. If you do not step down, we'll break the seal. Which I guess Risky is taking that to heart because she gave up on collecting that magic seal pretty quickly. Ah well, score 1 for Shantae. That's a nice change of pace. So, next time on Shantae, I guess we'll go on back to Scuttle Town and try to figure out where the next Baron is.